This is Dr. West. Welcome to the Bible Answer Man, and hoping that this question might be a blessing to you.
Question. Some years ago, I sinned against my wife. Should I now confess? Well, first of all, let me just clear up a piece of understanding to the person who had this situation. First of all, we don't sin against people. I know a lot of times we think, well, that person sinned against me. They hurt me. They bruised me. They took advantage of me. They really sinned against me. Or putting it in the first person, I sinned against such and so. I did wrong and I sinned against them. But we don't sin against people. We sin against God. And our confession for forgiveness is to be to God, to Him and Him alone. We confess our sin to God. Now, there are times that we can, if it serves a purpose, we can go back to the person who was offended and say, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done what I did to you, and I've offended you. I've sinned against God, and I've offended you, and I'm so terribly sorry. And I'll make restitution any way that I can. Anything that you deem necessary, I'll be happy to do that for you. And I want to restore fellowship in that. God has forgiven me for that. I've asked Him to forgive me, and now I'm asking you to forgive me too. But we sin against God. It's important that we recognize that. And it's He whom we get our forgiveness from. And once we've gotten that, then we move on. Don't keep carrying all that old baggage around with you. I meet people, I've counseled people who are still carrying the hurts and the bruises of things that they've done, and they've asked God to forgive them. And the Bible says if we ask Him to forgive us, He's just and He'll forgive us and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So once God has forgiven you, forgive yourself, promise not to do it anymore, and go on in the Lord and grow in God and in the power of His might. So that's important that we can incorporate that into our life.